Hey everyone. Uh, so first off, I heard that the Beale Street Music Festival has been rescheduled for October 16th to October 18th. Now, normally this festival occurs the first weekend of May. Of course, with the coronavirus pandemic, lots of festivals have been canceled, concerts have been canceled, and everything else. Um, and there really is no guarantee that it's even going to happen in October. Though some of you may still be thinking that maybe you go ahead and go. After all, there is a pretty decent lineup of bands that are going to be there, and it's one of the few festivals that may actually still happen in 2020. So like Smashing Pumpkins, Deftones, Lumineers, 3 6 Mafia, 311, Lil Wayne, Weezer, Abbott Brothers, Lindsey Buckingham, Portugal the Man, Project Pat, all kinds of big name artists will be at this festival, and it's a good festival to go to for a group of friends because of the diversity of artists that are there. So you don't have to just go with friends that have your particular interest in music. For example, myself, I tend to enjoy rock concerts, rock festivals, but there'll be rock artists at Beale Street Music Festival along with other artists, and I can go there with friends that like those other artists, and we can still all have a good time. So, first of all, I'll tell you about myself. I've been to Beale Street Music Festival many times, probably 5 6 times now. Latest time was just last year that I went to Beale Street Music Festival, and I've always gone with different groups of people. Different friends have been able to join me each time I've gone, and that's been pretty cool. Possibly one cool thing about going to Beale Street Music Festival this time is that it'll be a totally different experience. Being in October, the weather's going to be totally different. Normally in May when you go, there's a joke that, there's always going to be rain or mud. The river could be flooded. You might see tornadoes. And it's very hot during the day. So that's just how it is for Beale Street Music Festival. Being in October, it's going to be probably a lot different. The highs in October on average in Memphis is 70s, lows in the 50s. So the temperature itself likely is going to be a lot more pleasant. So anyway, I thought I'd make this video basically just to kind of go over if I were going to go to Beale Street Music Festival this year, what might make it unique, and how I would go about picking a place to stay when I went. I've stayed at 5 different places when I've been to Beale Street Music Festival. I stayed at the Super 8, that's, you'll see right there over the interstate. It's not one I recommend, though they do have a shuttle. If you do happen to stay there, just if you looked at hotels.com or something, it might look like the closest, cheapest one, but you pretty much have to take the shuttle to get there. And if you don't take the shuttle, you're going to end up walking across the freeway or under the freeway, but you will have to go through like a wire fence and a whole bunch of other stuff that just is kind of shady and really isn't worth the $5 that you save not taking the shuttle that they offer. But outside of that, it's not close to anything else either that you can really walk to, so you're pretty much staying there, going to the festival, coming back. And a lot of times when I go to festivals, I like to try to go into the city, try to go to eat some places I hadn't been at before, things like that, and just experience other things I might do if I were going there and there wasn't a music festival. So I've stayed there. I've stayed at the West End. I've stayed at the Sheraton, the Crown Plaza, and the Hotel Indigo. And those are all downtown in the Beale Street area, and are all pretty good hotels. But one thing that's you'd want to take advantage of if you're going to go, and here's why I say, for the reasons I talked about before, that Beale Street could be an interesting year to go, is that it'll be a totally different experience, different time of year, weather will be different. There's probably going to be less people there than normally, just with the pandemic, if you do decide to go. And if you go and you wear a mask, that's not really uncommon to see at a music festival that people would wear a mask, right? I mean, because people often wear bandanas and things around their face because if it's dry, dust could fly in the air when people are stomping around. Also, you don't have to get right up by the stage if you don't want to. You can kind of stand back away from the stage and then lay in the grass or whatever, and you don't have to be real close to a whole bunch of people if you don't want to. So for those reasons, people might decide, that they feel comfortable going. And if you do decide to go, you want to try to get the cheapest rooms or the best value. So this is often kind of the biggest hurdle to going to a music festival like this. You want to go there, but then the rooms that are nearby are super expensive. Last year when I went, a friend and I stayed at the Hotel Indigo, and the price for that hotel was about $400 a night, which is pretty expensive, and I definitely recommend staying the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. Everybody's situation is different, but if you can, I would stay the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. It just makes it a whole lot easier. And then the other thing is make sure you have food in your hotel room on the Sunday night, unless you're actually you plan to go out on Beale Street and eat. Otherwise, grab something to eat at the festival on your way out, because for some reason on that night everything on Beale Street closes for the deliveries, and it's just can be very hard to get food on that Sunday night for whatever reason. I don't know why that is. I didn't pay $400 a night for the Hotel Indigo. We actually paid $150 a night for the Hotel Indigo. And the way we did this was by using the points. Now this isn't travel hacking. Like, I'm not saying go get the credit card, get the points, although that's an option. You could do that. But the problem right now is if you were to do that, by the time you got the points, the hotels could be booked because you'd have to hit the minimum spend requirements and all that. So what I'm suggesting is that you just sign up for the free account and you just simply buy the points. And what makes this possible is, like right now, there are point bonuses. So for IHG, for example, there's which is the Holiday Inn, which Hotel Indigo is part of, IHG brand. It's 30,000 points a night to stay there. But there's a 100% point bonus to buy the points. So you can buy the points, the 30,000 points, for $150. And if you do that, then you can stay there for $150 a night. So you can get out of there for $450 for the weekend, get a 2-bed room that you and a friend, or you and a couple friends, or however you're going to do it, could get, and split that cost. So you're talking about now maybe possibly $75 a night that you could go there, and it's right just blocks away from Beale Street, so you can experience all the downtown Memphis life and be close to the festival. That's definitely how I would do it if I were going to do it. Also, not only just because of that, but if you book with points, the cancellation policy is a lot more lenient. If you book with points, if you cancel the room, you just got to cancel it like 2 or 3 days before the date of stay, and your points will be refunded back to you. So you get those points back. So for those reasons, it could be a very good idea. There's also the Crown Plaza that I've stayed at before, and it's a very nice hotel. The only problem is that, it's a little bit further from downtown. It's up closer to the interstate. Though it's not too far to walk. It is a bit of a walk. But there is a trolley that you can take that goes right in front of the hotel. That's only $1 that takes you down to the end. Only problem is at the end of the night, the trolley may not be running anymore. So you might have no choice but to walk back to it. So you just have to make that choice. It is a little bit cheaper though. It's 25,000 points, which means you can get that hotel for just $125 a night. And there is a pool there that you could go to if it's still open in October. I don't know if it is, but it's outdoors. So if that interests you. Also, the street parking There's some free street parking in Memphis on the weekends, so it's very possible you can park on a street just for the weekend if you want to. But it's going to be safer in a parking garage, obviously. But that's an option if you're looking to save money there. The other hotels that I would possibly look at are the Marriott brand hotels. There's actually some new ones down there. Last I looked, the Westin wasn't available to book for some reason, though it showed like it wasn't available to book for just the foreseeable future. And I don't know if they're all booked up or there's just a glitch and it might open up. That one actually is right on Beale Street. So there is a convenience to having that. Otherwise, there's a Residence Inn downtown. There's a Spring Hill Suites, Sheridan, and a new one that's called a Moxie. They're all 85,000 points a night. Now, one thing you'll notice if you go to search at the IHG website for the hotels versus the Marriott website for the hotels is the IHG gives you the points per night that it would cost, where Marriott actually, if you put the 16th through the 18th, it'll say the points that you see there is how many points you would need for all 3 days. So that's a little bit different, because if you were used to one, then you might think that it's 85,000 points a night at Marriott, but it really isn't. It's the total amount that you would need for the whole stay. So, and that is one thing, is the 4 hotels that are in the downtown area for Marriott are all 85,000 points for the duration of the stay. The only difference is how much they actually cost. So, but now just to give you an example of how much value you get out of this, those 85,000 points a night, or 85,000 points for the total trip, at the Residence Inn, for example, is $333 a night. So if I just go click through here and look to see how much that would cost me all 3 nights, you're looking at $1,189. Where if you were to buy the points, you'd be looking at about $660, a little over $660 probably to buy the points, and you'd have a few points left over after your stay. So that's quite a bit cheaper. It's not quite as cheap as the Holiday or the IHG properties, but depending on what's available or what your needs are for where you're going to stay, it could be a perfect option. You may just prefer the Residence Inn, or you might already have loyalty with that Marriott brand or something like that could make a good option. I also want to mention that Hilton has 100% bonus offer as well that could come if that's the brand of hotel that you'd like to stay at, that there's some opportunities to stay downtown with that brand as well.